Namaskar. Uttishtata Jagrata. Arise and awake. This is the most important thing that all of us as human beings need to do. What is really happening in Manipur? What started out as a drug war is threatening to escalate into other states, and this seems to have been a convenient tool for opposition to use selective memory, selective mirroring of what's happening in India. We'll take a step back and look at some other things that are happening in and around this issue. And to discuss all this, we have our guest Sumit Peer. Sumit ji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Sri sir, namaskar, pranam, sadhuvan, and vanakkam to you and all the viewers. Thank you very much for the invite.
So something interesting that came across my desk, Sumit ji, and I'm going to start by putting one slide where some people from Kuki have written to, of all people, Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, claiming that a part of the tribe has Jewish connections and therefore that the Jews are also in danger. The thing here is, they are also committing excesses. I'm not saying they are the only one committing excesses, but the Metis are not getting their voice here at all. So please break it up for us. What is going on? We'll just take that one. Can you just show the first slide of the slide deck, please? This is the letter, memorandum to Mr. Netanyahu, Honorable Prime Minister of Israel. This was sent in June, so it's about a month old. I have to tell you all the dates because it's not something that like yesterday it happened. So this has been building for some time. Sumitji, take it away, and then we will interrupt and probably show couple of other slides that are related to this, how there is one community that is not Christian, that is not Jews, and these are being targeted across several states in Northeast India. Take it away, sir.
Thank you, Sri sir, and let's do the Sri Ganesha. To all my brothers and sisters, my friends watching this show, when you look, Manipur violence and isolation, it might look to be a local regional issue. But when you start joining the dots and you look at the sequence of events which happened in last 3 to 4 months, you will start seeing there's a pattern. You will start seeing how the players are involved. So today in this 45 minutes, we are trying to put a lot of things to a perspective, a lot of things in a sequential order, and a lot of things with the political, geopolitical, local, regional, cartels, everything we are trying to put it in a very, very precise manner for our brothers and sisters and our countrymen and wherever you are, wherever internationally you are, for you to understand. This thing started much before the so-called, there was a judgment from the Honorable High Court wherein the Metis, who are essentially Hindus, are given the scheduled tribe status. It all started with 1,000 people protesting against it. And after that, the hell literally starts breaking loose. So it might look like that there was a judgment from the High Court and the Kukis were not happy with it. So then these people started fighting each other, they started killing each other, and that is what Manipur violence is about. That is the common notion, that is the common picture which is drawn. But let me tell you, friends, it is much beyond that. I'm trying to get all the angles today. First of all, history. You see, now these people have been living there together for hundreds of years. There's no doubt about it. Northeast is the only province or only part of the country wherein Hindus are in minority, Christians are in majority. So that is the first point you have to understand. But both Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, whoever you are Indian. So there's no disconnect here. Now, what has been happening traditionally? Northeast has been neglected, and you've seen a lot of insurgency which has come up in the Northeast, right? Various groups has been come. Now, after Modi ji came to power, more than 8,000 militants have surrendered. More than 8,000 have surrendered. Point number one. Point number two, what happened in Northeast? Mainstreaming of Northeast. More than 45,000 crores has been spent on Northeast. Point number three, access of Northeast to the Chittagong port was done so that, the Northeast, our brothers and sisters, they can directly hit the Chittagong port. They don't have to come to Calcutta to a very long route and then hit the sea. And this corridor was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi. And there were rail, there's road, and there's an air link which we built to them. Now, from Chittagong port, we even have the docking facility of Chittagong port for the military purposes and for the commercial purposes as well, which is good news for Bangladesh, which is good news for our brothers and sisters of Northeast. Mainstreaming of Northeast was done under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. So, and as a result of that, in most of the states of Northeast, you will see BJP winning election after election, though it is Christian dominated, it is not Hindu. That is the first and the most important point you have to understand. All this going fine, and suddenly, what did I see? A lot of interest was coming up from Pakistani YouTubers and Pakistani media on Northeast. And unfortunately, I have been a part of such interviews, long back, wherein they have been questioning this model. They've been looking at our Northeast. So one day this needle of suspicion struck me. Were they interested in Northeast? So that was the first red flag which got into my mind, because when I watch geopolitics every day, red flags strike my eye very, very fast. That was the first red. Then these small time conflicts were happening. There were still some armed groups and terrorists or militants, whatever you want to call them, they're still active there. Kuki National Front, Kuki National Army, there are some groups which are active there. And for around more than a decade, there has been this so-called ceasefire, wherein we will not track you and you will not disturb peace and harmony. So a lot of things were settling and Northeast was coming mainstream. A lot of people, including our neighbors on the right and left, did not want it. Why they did not want it? That's a logical question. Remember last hour hangout, we talked about the China's involvement in Northeast, because China wants to say, look, you look like us, so you're a part of China. It will not stop at Arunachal. It will even go up to Guwahati. Initially, if you look at, they were all part of state of Assam. It's in due course of time, these states have broken out from Assam. Right? That is the history. Nobody can deny it. Now, Chinese game plan is, you look like me, so you belong to me, this territory is mine. That is the Chinese game plan. So China was trying to keep these insurgencies, these terrorists, these groups active in the Northeast. So this has been the China. And we have been talking about the point number 8 I want to bring in here is the Arakan's army, which we discussed last time, fully funded by China. And around 3 months back, Sree sir, we did this hangout and we told you that day, you can pull out the video, it is not going to stop. Don't see it as a Methi Kuki conflict. They have been living together for hundreds of years, right, Sree sir? So
yes.
Yeah, why did suddenly this happen? I questioned how these villages are attacked, simultaneously. How sophisticated weapons are coming from? Who is supplying the weapons there? Where did these weapons come from? Now, I know places wherein our paramilitary forces are engaged with Kuki terrorists for more than a month. Sir, more than a month. Where did the ammunition come from? So that means you should have truckloads of ammunition to fight Indian army for more than a month. How much does the encounter last? 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours? 1 day, 48 hours maximum. You are holding your position for months. That means meticulous planning. That means ammunition is coming. That means supply chains are on. That means a lot of activity is happening. So this point number 8 I want to bring to you. Point number 9. Why did suddenly, if a Methi gets a scheduled tribe, status, how does it impact the Kuki? The area is too big. It's hardly inhabited. If you look at the population density, it's not much. And there is so much of land which can be occupied by anybody. There is no scarcity of land. There is no scarcity of resources. There is no scarcity of avenues. Why are these people fighting? What is the reason behind it? The reason is, I'm going to give you the point number 9. What is the reason, Srisha? That's a very interesting question people will like to know. The reason, my friends, is this area is part of the Golden Triangle. It is the part of the international drug route. Whoever controls the mountains and hills, they control these routes. These routes are lucrative. They are money-making. Right? Point number 9. Point number 10. Now, when you control the hills, you control the routes. So there are some politicians which are involved. There are these terrorists which are involved. And there are local tribes which are involved. Point number 11. 2 days back, Amit Shah ji declared India has destroyed almost in a year or more 1 million kilos, 10 lakh kilo, 1 million kilos of seized drugs. Now you can imagine the value of these seized drugs. 15,441 square kilometers of land was used for poppy cultivation has been dismantled, is khatam, over. Point number 11. So we are talking about 1 lakh kilograms of drugs seized and destroyed. We are talking of, yeah, you were saying something?
So, Sumit, if I understand you correctly, what Amit Shah ji has done is that he has essentially destroyed the crop cultivation land I mean, this is not finished product, right? I mean, this is actual land, because it's going to take a lot longer to regrow, assuming that the permission will be given. So
Correct.
is that correct?
Sri sir, there are two things on it. One is, as a country, how much drugs we have destroyed. 10 lakh kilo, 1 million kgs we have destroyed as a country. The seizures can be northeast, they can be anywhere in the country. So it was just a couple of days back announced by the Greh Mantri. Then 15,441 square kilometers of land, which was illegally, sir. The word here is illegally used for poppy cultivation. Khatam, over. Those crops have been destroyed. So you have done point number 12, which I brought in. Now I come to point number 13. This has disturbed two people. This has disturbed drug cartels. This has disturbed opium farmers. And the more and more people get control on the hills, the lesser and lesser the routes for drug trafficking and all remain there. So Kuki is getting a scheduled tribe status is that they can go and have those benefits, can go and occupy some hills. And
I think you meant Métis. I think you meant
Métis. Sorry. Slip of tongue. Métis is having this, good do. This is what has been irking Kukis. Why this is happening. Now, with the help of Arakan's army, with the help of Chinese influence, and with the help of ISI, this all trouble is fermented. You are fighting Indian army for 1 month, more than 1 month. Para-SF, what does Para-SF 9 and Para-SF 10 doing in this area? If it's a very simple law and order problem, then the police and the army and some CRPF should be handling it. What is Para-SF doing? And to best of my knowledge, even Marcos are deployed. In Indian army, you never talk about Marcos deployment. You never show the picture of a Marco commando. What are Marcos doing there? Para-SF 9 and 10, they specialize in this operation. What is Para-SF and Marcos doing there? Why people are holding the Indian army? Where is the ammunition coming from? I have seen, sir, pictures on the social media where people are holding this Mi-16 guns and Glock pistols. Usually, the terrorists and militants have this AKs. Mi-16 guns, where are they coming from? Is China supplying them? Possibly, yes. Are they coming through Arakan's army? Yes. Precise weapons to target Indian army settlements, where are they coming from? Even some of them are laser-guided weapons. Where are they coming from? Terrorists don't have laser-guided missiles. They don't have Mi-16 guns. And all these people are again threatening Métis. There have been processions taken out saying, we'll not let Métis live here. Some of the areas, they are already Methi-free. And this all happened in 2-3 days. These 4 areas, I can't remember, Chopal and Komang, and one more, I can't remember the names, I can't pronounce the names possibly. This all happened between 2nd and 4th May. One stroke. Remember the modus operandi in Kashmir. Then go to Leicester. Same. Now come here to Manipur. Same. Now, unfortunately, some of the Methi had left for this Mizoram. Today, there's a Mizoram terrorist group, Pamra. Sachin, if you can show the names clearly. Now, these people have also threatened Methis that you are no longer safe in Mizoram. And then they are saying, no, it's not a threatening, it's just a caution and all. I mean, remember Hizbul Mujahideen and Joshe Muhammad and Lashkar-e-Toiba taking out posters, and this is what is happening today. This is not, I'm not casting aspersions. This is India today, this is national media reporting. So you see a pattern. So far as you see the China angle, you have seen opium, you have seen Golden Triangle, you have seen what is at stake. Now, what happened before this? Before this and when this all was going on, there were 2-3 things which were happening. Point number 1, Victoria Newland was in Myanmar, Victoria Newland was in Bangladesh. O'Donnell had also visited one of these 2 countries. Now, what is Victoria Newland? Regime change specialist. That point of time, I don't know which channel, I had somewhere warned that there's something is going to grow. I could sense something hit my radar. What is she doing here? And at that point of time, the bogey of human rights and rights of minorities was raised. And Myanmar was complimented for taking the cause of Rohingyas. Do you believe it? Myanmar was complimented and Bangladesh was complimented that you are accommodating these Rohingya refugees who are basically terrorists. And thank you for that. And when the echo chamber started echoing this in the United States of America, you could see a pattern. But just before Prime Minister Modi got, suddenly there was a change of tactic. So the change of tactic was to fire a few blanks and show, look, we only don't have blanks, we have the full rounds ready. It depends on how do you act at it. Now, instantly, there's one more lady. While this all is happening, there is one more lady called Rana Ayyub. She is giving a speech in US just a few days back, I think 4-5 days back. And she's talking of there's an imminent Muslim genocide. Sachinji, if you can play the speech so that our viewers can see it.
Yeah, it's being loaded. Please continue talking. And viewers, just 1 second. Just 1 second. Viewers, please like this video. We are not carrying brief for anybody. What we want to tell you is how with internet and with somebody has set their mind to it, you can easily create mischief. And they'll complain that, oh, internet was not on in Manipur. Yeah, it was not on because the softwares that are being used to communicate among each other, it's not just WhatsApp anymore. There are lots of other variations where it is difficult for the intelligence agencies to gather what exactly is going on. And when like you said, in 3 days' time, villages were completely emptied of métis, nobody wants to say anything about it. And the other thing again, Sumitji, the parading of 2 naked cookies was an effect of something else that happened before that. The métis were killed. That part nobody wants to talk about. See, anytime, remember this, guys, this is how US interprets its law. If there is a bar fight, okay, the first person who threw the punch is the one who is, acted upon. Because that is what is causing the trigger and going on and on. This is something that India needs to do. Don't deal with this problem from the heart. Do it from the head. And don't spare anybody. That's all I can say. Sachinji, if you're not, it's still being loaded on. Error in video, need to reprocess it few minutes. So please go ahead.
No, we will come back to this.
We'll put it up in just a minute. Yeah.
Not a problem. No, she said what was happening while this all was going on. Now there comes an incident of these unfortunate sisters of ours, I'll call them sisters of ours, which were paraded naked. We, in any words, we directly, indirectly, implied, express whatsoever, we as PGurus, me, Sree sir and all our team, we condemn that. This should not happen in anywhere on earth. Forget India, because any of these, I don't care, the Meithis or Cookies, they are Indians and they are our sisters. It is very unfortunate. This should never ever happen again. But remember, the incident happened 2 months back. Exactly on when the day the parliament was about to begin, the incident was portrayed in the media and this was taken out. By the way, the people who carried it, there were 5 of them, all the 5 have been arrested, and I appeal strictest of punishment should be given to them. But on the contrary, if I move to the other side of it, we will show those pictures in due course of time. If I move to the other side of it, a similar incident happened in West Bengal also, which was on the social media. Again, we condemn this. I don't want to know who these are. But again, this is not spoken of. There were incidents which happened in Rajasthan. Again, they are not spoken of. Why?
So that video is ready. That video is ready now.
Yeah. Sure, sir.
Let's just play that, because we don't want to go too far away from that topic. We'll go back and resume this. Go ahead.
Where the 220 million Muslims of the country are being routinely humiliated. Genocide Watch has said that India is in the cusp of genocide.
Now, you got the crux of it. You got the crux of it. Muslims are humiliated. Muslims are targeted. Genocide, there's some crazy organization called Genocide Watch. This is talk of imminent Muslim genocide. Now, let me join the dots further. Now, why? You will be wondering why I'm going here and there. What I'm trying to show. What is the intention? Look, the intention is quite clear. Here, cabal is activated. Is talking of an imminent Muslim genocide in India. Right? US and already are talking about minorities. Why minorities ka kya ho raha, kya ho raha? Why is India, how is India handling its minorities? Hindu, fascist, racist and all that. Minorities unfortunately are Hindus, their villages have been wiped out. All atrocities, rapes and killings and missings happen, nobody talks about. Now, cookies, mostly Christians. So if you go strong-handedly against cookies, they'll say, oh, Christians are being targeted. Here are Muslims, Christians. Now, some of the cookies, I believe, have Jewish roots. I don't know how far it's true, but I've heard they have. Some of them have. Now, even the Jewish angle is activated. So, your Hindu angle activated, your Christian angle activated, your Jewish angle activated. Why did on PGurus, we extensively, I think no other channel has shown this letter, which is written to Benjamin Netanyahu. It's a big memorandum. And it is written, I think, on 30th June. It's not too far off. It was just 20 days back.
So we will put up one or two paragraphs, if you don't mind. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to put it up.
Not a problem.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
So if you see,
we can read this. Yeah.
The letter is dated 30th June. Now you see Christian angle, a Muslim angle, and the Jewish angle is all activated. Now, what are Christians in India? Minority. What are Jews in India? Minority. And what are Muslims in India? I call them the second majority, but technically they are minority. But when I go to Northeast, unfortunately, Hindus are minority there, but nobody seems to talk about them. Hindus are minority in Northeast, but nobody seems to talk about them. Their villages have been wiped out. Everything has been done. When it happens in Bengal, nobody talks about it. When it happens in Rajasthan, nobody talks about it. I'm not supporting any violence. I condemn all kinds and type of violence in any whatsoever. But I'm just giving a comparison. Why this selective outrage, this selective placement of videos at the right point of time, at the right perspective? Now, pure Maithi, now even the Mizoram, these militant groups are threatening them. Where do you think the Maithi will go? I mean, we have seen what happened in Kashmir, we have seen what happened in Leicester, we have seen what are happening in some parts of the world. Now, is one more ethnical cleansing happening in Northeast? Is that the game plan? Now, if you do action against cookies, you say, oh, Arey Baba, Christian. If you do, somebody say they're Jews. And here, Rana Ayyub is already taking eminent Muslim genocide and all. I don't know of which genocide, which hallucination does she have, but that is what is happening. She's conveniently sitting in America. Now, Israelis they're trying to get the Israeli involved. And of course, the people and institutions from Vatican and all are involved. And let me remind you, my friends, European Union Parliament had a discussion or a resolution was passed on Manipur violence, right? And what is happening in France, nobody seems to know. I mean, France, nothing, all is hunky-dory, all is good and pleasing, nothing is happening in France. So Europe, America, Israel, all the three are being tried to get them roped into it. I told you what was Victorian Nuland doing, O'Donnell doing, warning us on this human rights, warning us on the minorities, and trying to ferment trouble. On the parallelly, nobody is talking. Who is stopping Indian army for last 1.5 months? What is Parasab doing there? What are Marcos doing there? What is Arakan's army doing? What is China doing there? So I won't be tomorrow surprised if somebody also writes to China, Mr. China, can you help us? I don't know what is Pakistan trying to talk about Manipur. Even Pakistan, ISI, has started running fake videos and propagandas about Manipur. Not only that, I have seen videos on social media, Sri sir, wherein a woman is unfortunately killed in Myanmar, sir, by a AK. First she said, then she's killed. Again, I have greatest of respect for women. They are the half of the humanity. I don't know where they are, which country they are. It doesn't matter. They need to be given that respect. And this has been my stand on every woman issue. Unfortunately, this lady is killed by a AK, fired at her head. And these Khalistanis, on the behest of ISI, what are they doing? They are telling this is happening in Manipur with cookies. And who are doing it? Maithis. Now, why cookie? Cookies have even aligned with foreign forces and foreign agendas before. And let me tell you, there are around 10 cookie MLAs, sir, which are in Northeast. And they have I think it was around May 12th or 18th or around last week of May, they have come and said, we should have a separate kind of autonomous cookie land. These are elected MLAs. So one side, you have these drug cartels whose area of, opium or poppy cultivation is wiped out. On the other side, you have 10 lakh kilos of drugs burned. On the other side, you have these 10 MLAs talking about separate cookie land. And you don't want Metis to give them an inch of land. You are wiping them out of the villages. And all these villages incidentally are on the area where this golden triangle is part of. Let me remind you that. And what are you doing again? It doesn't stop here. Who is arming cookie armies? Who is arming these groups? Where does the ammunition come from? Where does this 2-month holding ammunition come from? 2 months of holding ammunition. With these automatic rifles, you can finish a magazine in a minute. So if you're fighting for 1.5 months, you can imagine the ammunition which has. So has ammunition being planted there? Has been months of meticulous planning being done? These are the questions we should ask. Why are Khalistanis using fake videos of Myanmar and trying to say this is Manipur? How does a Khalistani handle know the lady which is killed is a cookie and the person who is killing her is a Methi? Right? Now, instantly, all these 5 people have been, who were, these Methis who paraded that sister naked, they have been all apprehended and toughest of punishment should be given to them. I want to ask the question here, what about the people who committed atrocities on Methis? abduction, rape, killing, what is happening to them? So you are trying to again put Prime Minister Modi and BJP in a catch-22 situation. Here, Muslims, Jews, Christians. So if you act, you say, okay, look, Mr. Modi, you're acting against your minorities. It is minorities are being targeted in India. It's not only Muslims, it's everybody who's a minority is being targeted in India. That is what you will say. That is what the cabal wants you to say. Now, these videos, these provocations and all, I mean, unfortunately, Meithis are already hit. I'm not giving them a clean sheet, but they have their part to play. Meithis are already hit. They have nowhere to go. What is their problem? Unfortunately, they're Hindus. I mean, that is the only problem they have. The land belongs to them. The land belongs to them. When you conveniently talk of a Kashmiri, you instantly talk of a Kashmiri Muslim. But why is Hindu not Kashmiri? I mean, by the way, all the Muslims converted from Hindus to Muslim, right? So when you talk of Kashmir, it incidentally implied, explicit, Mano, Muslim. Here, northeast mein Manipur, Kuki. Here, what happens to Maithi? Why he is not the son of the soil? Why he should not get his dues? So these are the things which are happening at a bigger level. The idea is to put Prime Minister Modi in a very tight spot. Now, what is the end plan? What is the game plan? Game plan is start in Manipur, get these minorities angle in, international powers rope in, get USA, get European Union, get your people in America to talk about it, get this, involve Israel, right? So practically anybody who's not a Hindu, you can involve him. Now here your Khalistani is showing fake videos, so ISI is involved. Otherwise, what has Khalistani got to do with the Manipur? What is his business there? Now, okay, you say, okay, we'll contain the issue in Manipur. Next state, Mizoram. No, this Pamra or whatever this group is, Meithis cannot live here. Baba, what the hell is this? The India belongs to everybody. Who gave you that right to say who can live here, who cannot live here? Can I tomorrow say, oh, Tamilians cannot live in Delhi, or Dalits cannot go to Tamil, or Andhra guys cannot come, or a Mizo guy can come here, I cannot go to Mizo. We are all one country, God damn it. We don't need visas and passports to travel within the states. Who is anybody to tell me where I can live, where I cannot live? I can live anywhere length and breadth of India. This is India. I mean, this is where I can live. Anybody can live. So you are starting a new trend. Who can live here, who cannot live here. Now, eventually, if it goes to Mizoram, it will go to Nagaland. And eventually, you will push government of India. Push comes to shove, national security, they will act. They will act, the whole of Northeast will be burning. Then this Muslim, Christian, Jewish facade will come. And eventually, it will hit Assam. It will hit Assam. When it hits Assam, you will, mark my words, I hope and pray I'm wrong. You will see at that point of time, the things from West Bengal will be activated. There are a lot of these such organizations in West Bengal will activate. What is the idea? Go back to what Sree I'm said, while he's still in the jail. I don't know if he got bail or not, or maybe recently. He had clearly said that we should cut the chicken's neck. If we cut the chicken's neck, the whole of Northeast will be cut from India. If whole of Northeast will be cut from India, so it's a very, very easy game for China. Today, China has seen India's deployment along the whole border, which is touching China. They have been whacked in Galwan, they have been whacked in Tawang, right? So if Northeast becomes, it becomes a very fluid place, I would say, very uneasy place. Supplies to army, supplies to border roads, supplies, arms, ammunition, clothing will come down. And what are we hitting, friends? We are in July. There are a lot of areas beyond October, November, the supply lines become very skewed because the weather changes, things change. So is the game plan by in next 2-3 months, we'll have the pot boiling to that extent that will again do blockade. What is blockade known for? She said blockades. 2-month blockade, 6-month blockade, 8-month blockade. So logical is blockade, activate West Bengal, move it to Assam, target the chicken's neck. I have been hearing from some sources that, few districts on the right side and left side of the chicken neck will be made a union territory. What I'm requesting, appealing, I am nobody to give advice to Amit Shah ji, to Modi ji, to Ajay Doval sir. Sir, what if there is a plan like that? If there's a plan like, it should be activated very soon. The time has come, we have to protect the chicken's neck. Because China has its own plans, Pakistan has its own plans, and I've been warning you that the window to act, Sri sir, remember our last hangout? I said the window to act is up to October, November, end October, starting November. So August, September, October, 3 months. November, it will become very tough. So is this all being done for that? So you are trying to put government in a very difficult situation. You are trying to target Hindus, which are Maithis. If government doesn't act, then there will be a lot of people who will start questioning Modi ji. Arey Baba, what are you doing to protect Hindus? What are you doing to protect Hindu rights? What are you doing to protect Hindu lives? Why are Hindu lives so dispensable? So these are the questions, my friends, which we as a nation have to face. We as citizens have to keep on thinking on it. What was Victoria Nuland doing in Bangladesh? What was she doing in Myanmar? Why did she praise Bangladesh for Rohingyas? How many Rohingyas have been infiltrated into West Bengal? I don't know. Right? So this is the game plan which is brewing, and we have elections around the corner. And already some people are talking that Modi ji has not done anything great for Hindus. That is the notion which is being trying to build out. Now, if you kind of go against these cookies or whatever, okay, Christians are targeted, Jews are targeted, Rana Ayyub, Muslims are targeted. So you see, it's a very difficult paradigm you will see. And in the meanwhile, you might also see some Kisan movement will get activated, something here and there. Some hijab movement down south might get activated. Some PFI cadres might be, leftovers might get activated. I did last program with you guys. How many, if you talk of Maharashtra, if you talk of Karnataka, if you talk of MP, if you talk of J&K, if you talk of Delhi, if you talk of Gujarat, how many terrorists and how many ISIS agents have been nabbed? What do we think? These people are doing nothing here. They are sipping coffee and waiting for the samachar to come. Understand, Northeast is not about cookies and Maithis. It is much bigger. They are only the pawns of the chessboard. There is politics in it. There is drugs in it. There is money in it. There is violence in it. There's a politician nexus in it. There is China. There is Arakan's army. There is geopolitical interest wherein you want to somehow portray Modi anti-minorities. The end game is, Modi ji, you are anti-minorities. In your Raj, Christians are not safe, Muslims are not safe, Jews are not safe. And in such a condition, you want to bring in UCC. So this will be one more stumbling block to stop UCC from coming in. Now, if Modi ji doesn't act, Modi ji, these, unfortunately, Maithis are brothers, they're Hindus. And it's because of Hindus, nothing is happening to them. Nobody is working for them. And this is what is happening. And, in a violence thing, again, I highly condemn this incident of naked woman. With all the conviction at my command and at PGurus, we condemn this. This should never ever happen anywhere in the world. But haven't such incidents happened before in Northeast? I have seen videos wherein Indian army is stopped by the women say, Bhaiya, wapas jao, nahi to hum kapde utar denge. This is all in social media. I'm not casting aspersions. There are videos available. You can even do a Google and find. Why are women of Northeast, I don't know who they are, why are they threatening Indian army that if you don't go, we'll strip naked? These are the questions we need to have answered. Why is Indian army not able to, crush these terrorists? Who's protecting the terrorists? At times the women come and by the time they stop the Indian army, by the time the terrorists flee. Why are women stopping the terrorists? These are logical questions which I'm putting in front of the nation. These are not my aspersions. Right, Sree, you want to say something?
Sumitji, a couple of things here. You mentioned that the politicians are hand in glove with some of them, not all, with the drug lords and things like that. I think this is something that all parties need to take a look into, and it includes BJP. My information is very disturbing. I don't want to make comments here without verifying and double-checking facts, that the drug lords have their people in every party. And you need to understand that these people will be working at cross purposes to what the Home Minister may want to do. And what you said is this 4 or 5 days old news where the army went into a village and they caught hold of 10 people, and the village wouldn't let them to take them out. These are known criminal thugs, terrorists.
Terrorists. They're known terrorists. Yeah. With very sophisticated weapons.
Yeah. So at some point this is going to set off, and people have to understand that you cannot keep on doing something that is adharmic. This is dharma. This is adharmic. If somebody has committed a crime, you have to allow the law and order to take its logical end, take it to the logical end. Tomorrow, if they can't fight the other tribe, they might start gunning you down. What is there? What guarantee do you have? Because once that poison is set in the terrorist's mind, they just want to go and fight somebody. This is a very, very, very dangerous trend that's happening, and somewhere this needs to break. I mean, this is, and I condemn strongly 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙥 going to Manipur and then coming and holding a press conference in Kolkata saying that we can help. It's none of your business. 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙥 has left Los Angeles in a big mess. The guy termed out 8 years mayor. Today, Los Angeles is a pit in US. You want me to talk to you, 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙥, about how you have managed Los Angeles? I can write tomes and tomes of it. Nobody's feeling safe now. So my point here is that if you are an ambassador, stay within your bounds. See what you can do to enrich both countries, help out each other country. And if you want to be a politician, goddammit, quit that job and come back and see if you can become the governor of California. Please go ahead.
Sir, I mean, I was reluctant to bring in this point because now thank you for bringing in this point. I was a bit reluctant to bring in this point. What is Mr. Garcia doing there? What is his business in Manipur? Why does he? I mean, you have Victoria Newland in Myanmar, Bangladesh, and then coming to India. Then you have Mr. Garcia going to Manipur. We can help in Manipur. What is your business in Manipur? What are you doing? When we talked about the Arakan's army, nobody believed us. I mean, they said we are creating stories. I told you that it will not stop. It's a much bigger, complex Pandora's box. The idea is to cut out Northeast. The idea is to, somehow have the chicken neck cut out. The idea is to disrupt India. The idea is to portray Modi as anti-minorities and BJP as anti-minorities. So all these trade deals, all these FTAs and all can be scuttled. The economic development of India can be scuttled. And let me tell you directly, the person who would want this to be scuttled is People's Republic of China. Because for them, the biggest stumbling block is India. Tomorrow morning, we're going to talk about one more, episode about China's economy and how his engines are failing. We'll talk tomorrow at 10 o'clock. But we'll talk more in detail. But China, Arakan's army, Khalistanis, Victoria Nuland, Eric Garcia, don't you see a pattern? Do you still think, right? We are kind of, we are still talking about, a Kuki Maithi fight? No, there is drugs, there is money. And then let me give you the amount. According to my estimates, this 15,441 square kilometers or acres of land was producing around somewhere from $300 to $600 million worth of poppy. $300 to $600 million worth of poppy, sir. $600 million worth of poppy. You know how much of money that is local currency. And if you disrupt that, if you destroy that, why these so-called militant or terrorist groups who have a ceasefire wherein the government of India says will not come after you? Why are they still armed? Why are villagers still hiding them? What is going wrong? What is happening there? These are the questions which we have to answer. Nothing in geopolitics is black and white. It's all the shades of gray. The colors of rainbow, when you start joining the pieces together, where did it start? Honorable High Court gave a decision. There's enough land, there's enough resources. Bahut hai. Why cookies have become why Maithis have become the villain all of a sudden? Why do they deserve to die? Why do you need to kill them? These are the things, my brothers and sisters, the India needs to know. You have to see through the bigger prism of geopolitics and understand the issue. This issue is to dismantle India, stop India's economic progress, scuttle India's FDAs, tarnish India's image in the West, have a very sore relation with the Christian countries, have a tango with the Muslim countries, and even with our good friend Israel. How do we kind of get the Israelis and all activated against the government of India? And there's a lot of defense and other strategic operations which are happening. How to get India out of ITU, to how to stop India from emerging a power in the Middle East. So there are a lot of agendas on the board, and unfortunately, the land of Manipur and unfortunately our brothers, Kukis and Maithis are used as the pawns of the game. I have put you all the perspectives. I have been very clear and direct. I have given you all the facts, figures and data. I could have spoken more for another 1 hour, but now we have to look at the watch. I know there will be a lot of questions, there will be a lot of things. What I request, I have tried to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. We at PGurus have tried this. my brothers, my sisters, my friends, kindly share this video. Because it's not about how many views we get. It is about how many people, wherever they are in the world, your friends, your relatives, your acquaintances, let them see this video so that they can relate and verify, are we saying anything which is not factually correct? Everything is factually correct. We have a lot of content here. We have a lot of videos here, but they are provocative and they talk of violence and they talk of guns and all. We at PGurus have been responsible. We are not showing any of this stuff. There's good TRP, but we are not showing any of this stuff because humanity and country comes first to us. Peace and harmony is what we are looking for. We are here to fight the enemies of the country and fight them together. And we need all of your support. Because what you can do is to spread the information far and wide. Anybody whom you know must watch this video to know what is the real story of Manipur, what is the politics, geopolitics players, and the end game. That is what the mission and the summary is. With that, I would like to say namaskar and over to you, Sree sir.
Thank you so much, Sumitji. And just for those of you who are curious, the next governor for California has been handpicked by George Soros. She's the current Lieutenant General, and I have already had a couple of episodes about this. So, PGurus, you need to watch not just for one thing or the other. We cover a lot of things, and this Garcetti probably, this is my analysis of the California politics. He found himself squeezed out. He could be mayor only for 2 terms. That is over. Then he had to do something else. Then that would be to run for the governor. But that rasta band ho chuka hai because Gavin Newsom is terming out. He wants to become president. There, Biden is sitting. So somebody has to move out Biden. This tamasha inside US also is going to start, guys. This is going to be a very interesting story. All saas kabhi bahuti. Now you will see bhai ko kaisa marega. You will watch all that fun. We will bring it to you. You will get a ringside seat. Let's take some questions, please. Ask Sumit, Mr. Bharani, is BJP planning to amend depension scheme brought by Vajpayee ji? Intro, this is not on topic. Sorry, Bharani.
I can reply yes. Only thing I can tell you, Bharani ji, shortly, the new pension scheme will be amended. What you will get, 45 to 50% of your lost take home will be your pension. That is being worked on. This is true.
Next one, please. Pawan Kishore wants to know, big failure of this government is in controlling the anarchy, be it CAA riots or farmers' protests and now Manipur riots. Why is government lagging in controlling the anarchy?
Pawanji, what I have been tell you, it is what we are seeing is not, if you could control Kashmir, if you could control 370, 35A, if you could control, you could do and whack Pakistan inside Balakot, and you could avenge Uri. What is this? The problem here is, it is why I was trying to put all the pieces together. It's not a Kuki and Methi problem, sir. It is not a Manipur problem. Manipur is only the chosen spot. If you see, if you are telling me that Mahabharata was about Kurukshetra, no, Kurukshetra was the place where Mahabharata where the fight took place. Kurukshetra and Mahabharata are 2 different things. Today, the Mahabharata of geopolitics is happening in Manipur. Kurukshetra is replaced by Manipur. That's it. That's how I would answer it.
Next one, please. Rahul Rathod wants to know, Northeast is of course historical baggage, but this government passed CAA, NRC in spite of huge hangama and still haven't notified it at least. It would have helped to deal with illegal radicals. Your view, sir?
Rahulji, it is not only CAA, NRC. I would also recommend for NPR, National Population Register. Because the time has come, if we don't have NPR, look, it only took 18 radicalized jihadis to bring down World Trade Center. And if your people infiltrated in thousands or maybe more than that, maybe lakhs. So these kind of things can happen anywhere. Whenever you see weapons, whenever you see arms, whenever you see accurate ammunition, you can take one thing in writing, the foreign powers and world. Otherwise, you will see country-made pistols, kattas, tamanchas, those local-made revolvers made in Buxar, in Bihar and all that. No, I'm not trying to name any state, but this is where a lot of these things are made. But this kind of weapons, what I'm seeing in Manipur, Parasaf and Marcos and Indian Army involved, most probably, you might not be even fighting militants or terrorists. We might have a different set of people, like in Kargil, Pakistani army was disguised as terrorists or militants wearing that black salwar suit. They were regulars of Pakistan army. I don't know who are they. Are they Arakan's army? Are we fighting some of the members of PLA? It is a possibility. I'm not saying it has happened, but I'm very sure Arakan's army is there. I'm not sure about the PLA, but I'm not denying PLA cadres are not there. Holding us, fighting with us for 1.5 months, 1 month. It's Indian army on the other side. Only a professional army can hold till that long.
And the terrain is working against them, right? Because you can't, you can't mobilize tanks and armory. You have to do hand-to-hand combat everywhere, and they have sniper guns and rifles. So you have to be careful. Unless the Indian army is able to get the higher ground than them, it's going to be a challenge. So it's not easy. It's not easy what the Indian army is up against. At the same time, there are choke points that can be affected. I think this is taking root now. We have to just wait and see, give it some more time. Let's be a little bit patient. Next question. Shekhar Mathur wants to know why the present government is slow in identifying the issues at an earlier stage instead of things to blow up. Shekhar, 5,000 problems every day crop up in front of Modi's desk. How many things do you think he can solve? I'm just asking you a rhetorical question. Was this problem there 6 months ago? And the ADMK shut down that Sterlite plant. Who was the cause of that? DMK. Now the DMK has come. Can it restart it? No. Why not? Because once you have given people money to do something, to disrupt something, now they don't want to let that thing start again because they have established their bases, their controls. So this is India, the law and order is breaking down every day. Whoever is dharmic, whoever is abiding by the law is doing it because of his or her internal feeling that we have to be dharmic. If somebody says, no, right now is my opportunity because I'm special, because I belong to the minority and the police won't touch me, that's where the problem starts.
Absolutely right, sir. I want to add one sentence. Shekharji, why we have been trying to bring out this letter to Benjamin Netanyahu? Why are we talking about Eric Garcia, Victoria Nuland, O Nuland, Myanmar, Bangladeshis, visit to the minorities, some blanks being fired, then in US they retracted. Why did we show you Rana Ayyub's video? Because we are trying to create a bigger picture. Again, sir, it is not about cookies and mathis. It is not about Manipur. Manipur is only the Kurukshetra where this Mahabharata will be fought. It is not about the land. It's not about the players. It is the bigger players who are orchestrating this. Where is ammunition coming from? Where is money coming from? This 15,441 acres of poppy cultivation, 10 lakh kilos of drugs burned, 300 to 600 million is the yearly yield of poppy in that area. 300 to 600 million dollars. If somebody has lost that money, do you think he's going to sit down? Why did these 10 MLAs side with these and demand a separate Kuki land? What is the problem with Mathis? They are again the sons of the soil. How does it matter? I follow Christianity, you follow Hinduism, you follow Hinduism, I follow Christianity. I mean, how does it make a difference at a logical level? It does not. But it is much beyond that. It's very easy to say government is sleeping at the wheel. It's not so easy. When you have these international players and cabals and agencies working against you, tell me, sir, why is a Khalistani tweeting a fake video saying this girl happened to a Kuki girl by a Hindu Methi in Manipur when it was a Myanmar? You get the answer, sir.
Next question, please. Shmati, Sree, I am donating to your shows because I got to know the issues that are happening in our country very accurately. If you go to a movie, we spend so much instead of that when I am getting, why don't I? Thank you so much, Shmati, for your generous contributions. You invariably contribute some amount or the other, so we are really touched by your generosity. Thank you so much. Manov San wants to know, isn't it best to withdraw autonomy from Northeast, just as with Article 370, in order to allow fuller protection of Indian Constitution unhindered? Replace reservations with development. That's what he's trying. That's what Modi is trying, guys. Go ahead.
Sir, 45,000 crores is the first figure I told you. After that, a lot of packages have happened. Kaladan multimodal project, access to Chittagong port. Why? And let me tell you one more thing, which missed my mind. Sorry. When we are trying to build a road starting from northeast through Bangladesh, Laos, Cambodia, and it will finally give us access to the South China Sea. China does not want India to have access to the South China Sea, and China will do everything and anything to block it. So that road is being already what is being conceived. The money is being allocated. So China is trying very best to block our access into Laos, Cambodia, and into South China Sea. Why does China fund Arakan's army? What is the use of Arakan's army? Look at our last video, I've explained in detail what is the use of Arakan's army. So what I'm strongly demanding by your channel, Shree sir, is that 𝙒𝙖𝙩 should be revoked, we should get 𝙒𝙖𝙩 in place very, very soon for whole of Northeast. Because honestly, sir, I'm being direct here. I'm not a supporter of 𝙒𝙗, but looking at the situation, what is happening right now, if you wrote a 𝙒𝙗, it is very, very difficult for my brothers and sisters of Indian Army to act. Because they have to be legally protected, their rights have to be protected, they have to be given those, you cannot send them in hands tied, unfortunately. Sir.
𝙒𝙗 stands for Armed Forces Special something, Protection Act, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Power Act, special power. So army gets more power whenever they are dealing with insurgencies. And what happens is the justice system is faster. And this is what was in effect in Kashmir. And we have, in fact, demanded this in some districts in Kerala also, that 𝙒𝙗 should be put there, because this was before the PFI blew up. Okay, 3, 4, 5 years ago, if you watch PGurus videos, we would have said that Malappuram district deserves to have 𝙒𝙗 in it, because it was slowly coming out from there to Karnataka and to Tamil Nadu. So anyway, we don't do it fast enough, and sometimes people say, oh, you are too aggressive, because everybody is on the payroll, guys. Everybody is given money to say something. That is the challenge here. Next one.
Absolutely.
Shmati wants to know, Sree, your DGI was very nice with Sridhar Chityala. I really like to contribute. That's why I contribute, not to get any attention. Thank you so much, Shmati. We are trying to work something, but it's going to take a little bit of time. But yes, something is in the works. We've done 424 episodes. It's not something trivial. 2 years, I think. I used to get up at 3:45 in the morning for a 5 a.m. live show. It was tough. But anyway, we're trying to revive it. Just stay tuned. Rahul Rathod wants to know, question to both of you, is it possible to identify illegal immigration, strip off their citizenship, let them live in India as refugees, but make sure they and their future generation don't get citizenship by passing law? You first go, Sachin.
Okay. Rahulji, let me tell you, there are 200 Rohingyas in a detention center in India as we talk. Right, and there was a news, I think 3 days back, where they created some ruckus in the detention center.
Jammu.
There are already 200 Rohingyas are there. And what I appeal to the government, that's why I'm appealing to Amit Shah ji, sir, we need NPR. I mean, we need people, logo kaagaz dikhane padenge bhaiya. You have to show your papers. How do I know you belong to this land? How do I know you might look like and talk and walk like me? I need to prove that you are the citizens of this land. I mean, we are already at 1.4 billion. The way the things are going, how are we going to feed so many people? Right? So these people who have no stakes, the people who are not even loyal to their land, Rohingyas have been not loyal to Myanmar, how can they be loyal to my country? This is a very logical question I'm asking. So Myanmar calls them terrorists, right? Calls them dangerous criminals. How can we be assured with them? It is not about, we have to identify them, and there are a lot of islands in Andaman Nicobar which are inhabited. There are a lot of inhabited islands India has. I think 540, if my memory serves me right. A lot of people can be accommodated, though. It's not about stripping them citizenship. Send them there, give them humanitarian help and all, and let them find a country, apply for asylum, and whichever country wants to take them, take them. Anyway, there are 57 Muslim countries now. Where is the problem? They can take them if they want.
Next question, please. Siddhartha Kataki, thank you so much. Kataki, I think. I'm not so sure. So sorry. It would help if you write it in Devanagari. So that way I won't make a mistake pronouncing your name. There's a bigger covert plan by our enemies to destabilize our Look East strategy. What's your take on this? I think he answered this question, Siddhartha. If you want to just quickly touch upon it, because I have some big questions coming up, and also we are coming up against time. Go ahead.
I want to tell you one thing, sir. The way India was doing the Look East policy, the strategically it was doing, the way Northeast was changed, the way Northeast was mainstream. Now, what do you want to take? You, before stopping India out of the boundaries of India, take the fight within the boundaries of India. That is what the cabal is doing. This is what the cabal is doing. They are trying to get trouble into your house. Right? Matlab, andar ki ladai hai, to bahar kya karoge? It's exactly as simple as that. You're fighting with your wife all the time and with your brothers and sisters. What will you do with your neighbors? That is what the whole idea is.
So see here, Chattogram, Chittagong, these are the areas that is where we have a special access. This is Bangladesh that we are showing, and if you zoom out, you can see that Manipur, Mizoram are not very far from there. Tripura,
Correct.
Mizoram, and Manipur, they're all very, very close. You just have to. So there is a direct land route. This is what Prime Minister Modi and his government have done. So
this is what I highlight.
Yeah. So efforts are being made. People don't see there is a status quo for somebody. That person is making money based on a status quo. That is as the way things are. And they will try and disrupt you. You have to be strong and you can break them and then they'll be gone. Jahangir Gotla wants to know, press freedom is one thing, but what about lies in press? Terroristan is broke, but still has a big hand. Break the shoulder. Stop the appeasement. M16 from Afghanistan arms left behind for this reason. Go ahead.
Jahangir ji, you see, terrorism runs on money. And today, there was a time only donations and zakat and so money from Middle East was coming. Saudis and Qataris and all, they were giving money. Today, some of the terrorism is funded by the biggest intelligence agencies of the world. It's a different ball game. Zakat and these jihadis collecting money and running terrorism is you can run a 𝙤𝙬𝙤𝙪. But when you are running these armies, who's running Arakan's army? Around 10 to 12,000 strong militia with anti-aircraft guns, laser-guided, weapons. It is People's Republic of China and PLA. So if China is funding militias and armies, so what are you fighting? You're fighting a proxy of PLA. It's not a terrorist or a militant group. It's easier to fight a 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤 than fighting Arakan's army. So the paradigms of the game had changed. Now there are intelligence agencies and countries in the world which are funneling money into it. So it's a different ball game, sir. It's not so easy.
Creating terrorism in another country is cheap. Unfortunately, it's the mindset that needs to change. Next question. Thank you so much, Mati. Next question. Let's make this the last question. Will the central government impose president's rule in Manipur?
Logically, looking at the turn of events, I think there will be a plan somewhere down the line. I think if you talk of a president's rule, there are a couple of states where the president's rule should be imposed. Manipur can be one. Even West Bengal, if you look at a Panchayati election, we have more than 70 people dead. You have seen these horrific videos of how BJP Karyakartas are crying. You've seen those horrific videos on social media where a woman is stripped naked and beaten. I mean, that's where my heart goes out. I don't know which party she is. I know she's a sister of mine, and if this can happen to her in India, it's a shame for 1.4 billion Indians. Because if it becomes a president, it will not stop anywhere. It's very easy to start a war. But nobody knows when and how and where a war will start. You cannot stop the war. When you're speeding, my brother, can you stop your car? Forget stopping a war. Remember these words. Wars are easy to create, very difficult to stop.
Thank you so much, Sumitji. Look at Zelensky. That's exactly right. Thank you so much, Sumitji. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. And your inputs matter to us. Some of you sometimes get very passionate and write things that are not appropriate. Don't take your attacks to personal level. Don't do that. And we'll be forced to stop you. We'll be forced to ban you from commenting because you're flooding the thing with ill-intentioned words. So please do write to us. You can put in by way of comments and we will try and respond to you. Thank you once again, Sumitji. Namaskar.
Thank you, Sri sir. Thank you. Namaskar. Pranam to all. Jai Hind. Vande Mataram.
One last thing. We are having another program with Sridhar Chityala about the other internal politics in India, and that will be starting in about an hour's time. So stay tuned. Namaskar.
Namaskar.